Okay, so you have a lot of practice that you can do about simplifying and solving rational functions. And what we need to do now is kind of a review of things. So here's the warm-up. Pause the video, try the warm-up. Unpause, wait. That doesn't make any sense. Okay, just watch this now and I'm going to go through it. And we will discuss what the correct domains are. So let me just move this box out of the way. There we go. So in the first situation, a volleyball team is buying a $100 gift card for their coach. 2 players cannot afford to pay. Let X be the number of players on the team and Y be the cost per contributor. So this goes back to this old idea that we've seen before of Y equals the total cost, but then 2 players will not be able to pay, so it's X minus 2 on the denominator. This is going to have a domain like this if it wasn't in a context. Since it's in a context, we need at least 3 people or more to be able to split this cost. Now, so that's going to make it B. For number 2, that's going to be C. If we think about this, it's a little bit of problem solving here. How can we figure out the dimensions? Well, we're going to have X minus 2 times Y minus 5 equals 40. We're just going to solve that. For Y, and get this. Now you're like, wait, Mr. Anderson, I thought you said this wasn't going to be tested. You're right, it's not going to be tested. Don't freak out. Make sure you're watching the videos. But it still has a good domain of we can make this rectangle anything larger than 2, and we can always have some other size width. So it can get very close to 5 and very small. Finally, this one has no context, so this is going to be our typical domain, negative infinity to 2, 2 to infinity. So hopefully that was a good review. Now let's go on to the next page where we're going to talk about solving things in context. So here on this page, there's one small typo here. Jack and Jill, Jack, Jill, oop, Jake, oop, no, Jack, oops. So here's talking about 2 kids trick-or-treating. They visit 60-house neighborhood, and Jill visits a 75-house neighborhood. Jill visits houses at a rate that is 3 houses per hour faster than Jake. So we look at this problem, and we're given houses visited equals rate times time. Okay, so that's the big idea. So distance equals rate times time, houses visited equals rate times time. Set up an equation representing the houses Jack and Jill visited. So these 2 questions, A and B, you never know how you're going to want to set things up. You may be able to remember distance equals rate times time and then remember to solve these in the correct order. Or you may be interested in, okay, I'm trying to figure out how long it took them to visit the houses and find their rate. So I can solve for t and then just have a rational function equation that would allow me to have rate 1 and rate 1 as my only variable. Since I'm not asking the question as how long did it take for them to visit the houses, the question is at what rate each person was visiting houses if they visited in the same amount of time. So if you don't know what you're trying to do, this may make more sense. But you're going to be given part C right away, which means I don't need part A necessarily. It's good to understand, okay, like how do I write an equation in this way? So 60 houses is the number of houses visited. He has some rate, R1, and then T is the amount of time. Jill is a 75-house neighborhood, and she has 3 houses per hour faster. So his rate plus 3 times time. And that's how those 2 are given up to set up an equation. Then the next step to encourage you to do this is that we're going to have 2 equations here. So solve this for t, so we divide by R1, and we divide by R1 plus 3. So the time equals 60 over his rate, and Jill's time is 75 over R1 plus 3. So since these two times are equal, so they finish their rides in the same amount of time, so 60 over R1 equals 75 over R1 plus 3. Well, here we go back to solving a rational equation problem. We need to get the same denominators. When we do that, we can get the numerators to be equal. We solve this and we can get Jack's rate, 12 houses per hour. So get the common denominators, set the numerators equal once the denominators are equal, and then we solve for R1. Now, it's a good tip to remember that maybe this wasn't done so well at the beginning, that R1 cannot equal 0 and R1 cannot equal -3. But I'm not too concerned about those because in a context, -3, I don't even know what that means for hours, and for 0, I mean, he's not doing anything. So it's good to check just to make sure. These values do not match our restrictions, so this is plausible. A great follow-up question would be, well, how long did it take them? So I'll leave that for you. I'm not going to ask you that specifically, but you just substitute 12 in for R1, 15, well, R1 plus 3 is 15, so R1, 12 plus 3 gets 15 there. So, okay, pause the video. You can see already down below that I've given you a hint for how to set up those equations for Susan, but don't look at them. Try them on your own. Pause it, try it, and come back and watch me explain it. So once again, here we have another type of problem. Susan walks at a constant rate when exercising. During one workout, she was able to walk 24 miles. The next day, she walked 7 more hours than the previous day and was able to cover 57.6 miles. And once again, remember, distance equals rate times time. So that's not a minus sign there. That's just distance equals rate times time. Similar to the houses. So we've really covered 3 different types of rational function things, and we're going to review that on the summary sheet tomorrow in class. Just different applications where rational functions appear. This is one of them. We talked about it yesterday as combining rates, and then the previous day we talked about total cost over number of people. So write an equation that shows her rate R in terms of her time for each day. So the first day she walks 24 miles in T hours. That's her rate, 24 per T. And the next day, she covers 57.6 over T plus 7. And that's going to be R. How many hours did she walk on the first day? Well, since the rates are going to be the same, constant rate, that's what that means right there. Ooh, pause. I got to get my breakfast out. Breakfast was not burned. Everything is okay. So, now that we have 24 over T and 57.6 over T plus 7, on this sort of problem you would have a calculator for. So we need to get common denominators, so we're missing a T over T on this side and a T plus 7 over T plus 7 on this side. Numerators equal. Great. Now we set the solve, so using a calculator, remember, and we get T equals 5. And it's probably a good thing not to forget that T cannot equal 0, which would be a weird amount of time for her to walk, and T cannot equal -7. But these are just good things for us to remember. So at this point in the video, that's the new idea for the day. Can you do these problems in context? Now, the next page is going to walk you through just some more examples of how to solve and simplify rational equations. And I'm going to just highlight some things. So what I'd encourage you to do is go on to the next page and try it. Then come back here and watch the video if you get stuck on any of the problems so I can walk you through. Try that, pause this, have some fun. Okay, so here are our examples for simplifying completely. So the main thing that we need to remember is there is a difference between simplify completely and solve for x. Okay, we have to remember this. There is no equal sign right here. Where if we compare this down here, oh, there it is, an equal sign. These two things are very different. Here, we just need common denominators, and we're going to combine like terms in the numerator. So we're missing an x plus 1 there. We're missing a 6 in the denominator here. Multiplying the numerators together and combining like terms, we get x squared plus 7x minus 12 over 6 times x plus 1. In the same way, we have a lot of nice things going on here. Our least common denominator for all of these fractions is x and x plus 3. So here, 5 over x times, we need an x plus 3 over x plus 3. 1 represented as a fraction is 1 over 1. So this needs both x and x times x plus 3 for its numerator. And then we're going to subtract, key word here, subtract 16 times x. And hopefully you're not like me, and I'm going to fix that on the answer key. But we need a 16x here, and that's going to change my answer. So just give me a second here. So that's not going to be, so that's going to be x squared minus 8x plus 15. Ooh, hard to see, but I'll fix that on the answer key so you can see that. Yeah, so I need to make sure I'm following my work too. So a little mistake there, but generally that's what's going on. Now the differences for solving is going to be just kind of two main things. First, we always want to start off with our restriction. Look at the denominator. Is there any variable there? And we need to make sure that variable does not equal 0. The denominator does not equal 0. So x cannot equal 4. X cannot equal 4 in this one. And in this one, x cannot equal -2 or x cannot equal -3. So that covers any possible way to make 0 in our denominators. So we're going to multiply to get common denominators. We get that, and we set the numerators equal. 5x minus 3x equals negative. Yeah, I subtracted 3x over to this side, so 2x equals -12, x equals -6. We're all set. Here, remember, 3 equals 3 over 1. So this is the only one that's missing an x minus 4 here. So we're going to multiply that out. 9 plus 3x minus 12 equals 2x minus 1. Since all those denominators are equal, I can just set those fractions equal, or set the numerator equal. Solving this for x, I get x equals 2. So subtract 2x, giving me x. This side equals -3. I'm going to add 3 to this side, so 3 minus 1 is 2. And then finally, the last problem is a good use of the quadratics. So we're going to need to multiply x plus 3 times x. So that's going to be x squared plus 3x, and then 2, and then 5 times x plus 2, so that's 5x plus 10. Set the numerators equal, and when I solve this for 0, I get x squared minus 2x minus 8 equals 0. Well, here I've used the area model, x minus 4, x plus 2, and then I solve this, x equals 4, and x cannot equal -2. So this is a very important problem because it reviews quadratics, it reviews rational functions, all things that we need you to know, and it has a restriction matchup. It says x could equal -2, but that's our asymptote, so that's not going to happen. So the only answer for this is x equals 4. So the homework, I think lots of you have some homework to do. So there shouldn't be anyone off task. Make sure that you email me if you have questions. Okay, I've tried to make this as clear as possible, but sometimes it's not. So please, our formative is Wednesday this week. Our test is Friday. We need to be as proactive as possible as getting help. So coming in Monday, Wednesday morning, Friday morning, these are all great opportunities for you to get the help that you need. So I hope you're having a great day, and I will see you tomorrow.